Hello and welcome to Botify Sessions. My name is Adalberto Pinto. On here, we'll be interviewing AI and engineering talent around the world to give you real insight of what actually goes down behind the scenes. And today, we're back again with a very interesting guest. And we've got here Alexander Jekovic. And yeah, look, I'll hand it over to you and just let the people know who you are.
Oh, thank you, Alberto. Thank you for the invitation. Well, I would describe myself from the work, right, that I do. I'm currently responsible for the research innovation projects in FICOSA ADAS department.
Nice, nice. Thank you so much for making the time, Alexander. I know you're a busy man, hard to get. So yeah, I truly appreciate you coming on the show, and yeah, look, let's get going and give these people what they're looking for. You're heading research and innovation at FICOSA. Autonomous vehicles and sensor fusion and AI perception. For someone who's never heard of ADAS before, give me a little 30-second pitch just for people that
Mhm.
some technical people and non-technical people just to have an understanding of yeah, who you guys are.
Yes, so ADAS stands for Advanced Driving Assistive Systems. This is let's say, the set of technologies that are assisting in driving. So all the
Yeah,
technologies that stand between the completely human-driven vehicle and fully autonomous vehicle. So all the assistive systems before the full autonomy are called with one name, ADAS. ADAS is also the name of the business unit in the FICOSA company that I work for. So my team is working on development of these technologies, but also on researching and innovation in the technologies that are to come in let's say 5 to 10 years.
nice, nice. Touching on research in innovation. Walk me back. What was the moment you knew this field was what you wanted to sort of build your career in? Yeah, how did it start?
Well, I did my PhD in artificial intelligence, and I applied it to different use case scenarios. You use different applications from optimization to image processing, cluster analysis, and finally autonomous systems. And this is also where autonomous vehicles come in. I worked for many, many years in robotics, in assistive robotics. I worked in both academia and in a robotic startup. Last 6 years, I decided to come actually from the academia, back from academia to the industry and corporate world because I was looking for a more applied role. And all the knowledge that I acquired in robotics and human robot interaction, I could actually transfer to the automotive sector because the vehicles of today are basically different kind of robots.
Okay, okay. I've got an interesting question. I've spoken to a lot of people in the market. This debate has been going on for so not debate. It's a conversation inside, and I think you're someone that can really give us some clarity on this subject. The researcher versus the engineer meet. I mean, there's a narrative in tech right now, especially because it's moving so fast. Everything that is going on, that researcher is almost decorative. It's like, oh, that's a team working on things that may never ship. Look, you're living proof of that. So how do you push back on that? Like educate me, educate the rest of the people out there. What's the difference? Is there a difference? Yeah, give me some insight.
Yes, well, the researcher is someone who is pushing the boundaries of the knowledge, creating new knowledge as well. So, someone who has to deal with long term innovation. AI engineer is someone focused on deployment, on fast prototyping. So, there is a certain overlap. Both researcher and AI engineer can work in the same team. I think they are actually a very powerful combo.
Okay.
I consider myself a researcher who is trained in AI, but it is really important that the research has to keep an eye on long-term innovation, while the AI engineer is someone that is actually using this idea and deploying them on the current systems and optimizing them for real world performance. I just hear a bit of echo, and I don't know if this is affecting you as well, but I hear my voice back to me.
Really? Okay. I don't. Not hearing it on my side.
Well,
What I'll
if it's
do.
only me,
Okay.
if it then it's fine. I can deal with it.
Cool. So going back to that then, when they're working together, so where does research end and engineering sort of begin in the world? Where's the line?
So let's say in my domain, researcher is someone who needs to understand the system as whole or the solution as whole, needs to be able to collaborate with different partners that working on different
Yeah,
technologies. That requires a wider understanding of technologies, and how the final solution, what the final solution would look like. In case of an autonomous vehicle, this can be, let's say that we are working on perception technologies. A researcher working in my team would need to understand also the vehicle connectivity, maybe the digital twin technologies. We were talking about creation of digital twins, user requirements, human-machine interaction, both with the driver and the passengers and the road users. AI engineer would be someone who can have an understanding of all these domains, but their main goal would be to actually deploy the ideas, let's say the perception system capable of detecting pedestrians efficiently. So focus that these type of algorithms are working safely and in an optimized manner on the hardware that we have in the vehicle.
okay. No, thank you for that. You've managed to take 7 million in research funding and turn into a prototype development, like real technology roadmaps. That's not to say it's a hard thing to do. So how did you build that? And yeah, what happens between the discovery and delivery? Yeah, how does that all get together?
Yeah, you're referring to the acquisition of the public funding through public tenders and
Yeah,
public calls for collaborative projects. I think these are very important for the innovation strategy of any company that wants to be at the edge of this, or let's say beyond of the state of the art and a leader in the market. So developing your own technologies that are long term require additional funding that most of the companies cannot afford. Usually
yeah.
the companies are focused on very short term projects that are of length between several months up to a year. Public funding allows companies like mine to work on large collaborative projects with different partners, with large consortia, and develop solutions that are beyond the technology of one company alone. So this kind of consortia um, allows to involve the entire chain of stakeholders, in this case of automotive sectors, from the research organizations to universities to small and medium companies, corporations, but also end users, policymakers, local authorities, whoever is involved in developing, let's say, urban mobility or autonomous driving technologies. So collaborative projects require external funding, and yes, you're right, these are really hard to acquire. So this requires a lot of work, collaborative work with partners.
To get that approved, what goes? So is there loads of I don't know POCs provided for them to sort of understand and get a vision of where this could actually go to? Yeah, how does that happen? And do you have to put something together in order for this fund to sort of get approved?
Yeah, you need to put together, let's say, several documents, but the main document is basically the proposal, technical proposal. Usually, you need to address the excellence or the scientific and technological advancements that you're proposing, then the impact that the project will have, and then also the implementation part or the work plan. So you need to convince whichever institution and their experts who are reviewing or evaluating your proposal, you need to convince them that this is something solid, that what they are providing the money for is going to be turned into, as you said, proofs of concept or generation of new theories, generation of new methodologies of some added value.
Fair. Alexander, as you move into more senior roles, you're naturally further away from code and the models and benchmarks. How do you stay generally sharp, not just aware of the trends that are happening in the market?
Yeah, that's true. The moment you move towards, let's say, management of projects and people, it is becoming harder to stay very low level. To keep myself up to date, I think the communication is really important within my team. So regular meetings, providing feedback between the members of my team. I'm the one who is in charge of this of the innovation strategy. So for me, for my team, it's also important that they can understand the innovation strategy and what they are actually contributing to. And for me, it's important to understand what they're working, what kind of models they are using, for example, to develop our new perception systems. And as you said, it's not optimal to work both on operational level, management level, but also like on a very technical level. So in my team, I have principal scientists who are, let's say, like tech leads. They are also researchers,
Yeah.
PhDs, and then they manage projects and they manage teams within those projects, and each project develops certain technologies. So there's an entire chain of people working on different levels, and the regular meetings are the one that allow us all to stay up to date.
That's a lot of moving pieces. How do you, so on a daily basis, how do you coordinate your session? Like, what does that look like day to day? You got so much going on.
Yes, so there is a lot of meetings, but there is a lot of new proposal preparation, current project management. So it is multitasking. I think it is. It also comes with an experience. You need to prioritize your tasks. You really need to understand actually what you are the one that has to do, but also you need to be able to delegate. And this is important to be able to trust in your team and to actually know your team really well and know what actually they can do. Micromanagement is the one that actually takes most of the time, and I would never recommend it. So I try to give full autonomy to my team members and trust that objectives and the tools that they need are defined well and that they will provide the result.
Okay, cool. Alexander, you've got an interest in you've got an interesting sort of profile career that you've had so far, and you've been lucky enough to, obviously you're in the industry, but you've been a lecturer throughout your career. You're in touch with both sides. What are you noticing in the upcoming generation or researchers coming up compared to when you were starting out? What are you seeing?
I think it's more obvious to them that what they're studying now is probably going to change very quickly. So it was not obvious to me that when I was studying, and it was electrical engineering, that the jobs of the future didn't exist at the time. So we were being prepared for the jobs that we thought existed, but actually this wasn't true. I think that the adaptation is really important. So the new students need to be actually capable of learning all the time. So the continuous learning is important, and adaptation to whatever comes as a novelty. We are seeing a fast pace of the development of AI, and it's hard for everyone to adapt to this, especially big industries like automotive sector. But individually, researchers and AI engineers can just keep on learning the new tools and try to implement their own ideas or ideas of the company that they work for.
Fair. Back to leading and sort of being ahead and steering the train for all these engineers. What do you think has been your biggest mistake as a leader, and what did it cost your team in terms of?
Mm. I think that over time I had to learn actually how to delegate properly. And I don't think it's a finished task. I think I'm still learning this. This is a continuous process because it can be really overwhelming if you're trying to control everything and to be on top of all the tasks. You really need to actually understand when to let go. Obviously, the results are gonna differ often from what your expectations are, but this is also okay. When we work as a team, so somebody will actually provide even more than you expected, and somebody will provide less. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, at the end, the results will be satisfying as long as there is a good communication. So for me, it was really challenging at the beginning to understand actually what to delegate, and I am really grateful for the learning experience I had over the years, and it's kind of still ongoing, right? Learning how to lead the team and how to actually get good results.
Continuous learning. Love it. Yeah. If you if you were 25 again, starting your career today in AI and autonomous systems, what would you do completely different?
Yeah, I would take more risks, definitely. I would probably have created several startups until now and be more ready to fail. Yes, I think definitely because the ideas alone are insignificant unless you try to implement them and deploy them and also get to the final user, validate them and see what works and what doesn't work. This is really a big test. And yeah, we've definitely done that differently, taking more risks.
Yeah, yeah. So interesting you say that about startups because, so in your opinion, you think nowadays, let's say a one-man band, if you've got a good idea and you take the risk, you think it is not easy, but easier to be able to sort of create a company, a business, because it seems that there's so many businesses out there that are willing to invest in good ideas and make them better. So is it definitely easier these days than it was back in the days?
Yes, it's much easier, and it's really difficult to answer this question because with the vibe coding, it's everything changed. Somebody can actually take your idea and just do not worry about the implementation and deployment. So I think that like 10 years ago, even 20 years ago, I wouldn't be worried about sharing an idea with someone because what the important part was also the implementation of how you implement an idea. Nowadays, I think that with the AI and software development, this has changed.
Yeah.
The fast prototyping has become way much faster, and somebody can actually easily implement your idea. So this is good thing because you can actually fast test many ideas and see what works. So it increases your productivity, but it also exposes you more to competition.
Yes, yes, yes. So if you do come up with an idea, there's always that fear of someone taking your idea and making it better. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. In your opinion, you've been in the space for so long. What separates the top 1% engineers and researchers from everyone else?
Well, I think it's the thing that I mentioned that it's continuous learning and adaptation. Also, the ones, especially when you're working on your own ideas, I think multidisciplinarity is important. So we all have different skills. We can also, apart from our work, we have passions, hobbies. I think combining these different domains can be very powerful. For example,
Yeah.
somebody working in AI, but also works in fitness or maybe healthcare.
Okay.
Yeah, or maybe has some hobby that can be actually leveraged with AI. This can create a very powerful new idea and a new business idea, right?
Yes, yes, that's very interesting actually. Okay. One last one for you. What's one thing happening right now in autonomous driving or AI perception that you think the industry is either slipping on or completely overhyping?
In AI industry or in automotive sector? Sorry, I didn't.
In the automotive sector,
The automotive
which
sector.
in yeah.
Yeah, I think automotive sector is very slow because of its structure, especially in Europe.
Mm.
Uh, it has this market and the industry is organized between OEMs and then tier companies that are providers for the OEMs. So there are a lot of processes that are slowing down innovation. The pace of the AI development now is so high that the automotive sector would need to adapt to it. So yes, there are new sensors that can be deployed, the new algorithms that can be deployed, but there is also concern about the final user because
Yeah.
at the end we need to worry about the final user and who is that these are old road users, but especially the ones who are buying the vehicles that we are trying to sell or the technologies in the vehicle that we are trying to sell. So these are the driver and the passengers. So we need to make sure that we guarantee the privacy, that all the AI models that we deploy are explainable, trustworthy, that they're robust, and overall they need to be very safe.
Fair, fair, fair. Okay. No, look, thank you so much for the gems you dropped in here today. Yeah, I can't wait to get this out there for the people to have more understanding. And I had a lot of people itching for this question, the sort of researchers versus engineers, which is like what you mentioned. It was very good because I think it's all about collaboration. I don't think it's about who does more, who does less. So I think it's collaboration, and I think the both working together can make something really, really good happen. So yeah, no. Thank you so much for educating me even more. So yeah, it's great stuff. And yeah, no, look, Alexander, thank you so much for the time today.
It was a pleasure. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I've